My name is Steve Brown. I'm the clinical director and executive director at Renaissance Recovery Center. My life in addiction started at a pretty young age. I was 12 or 13 years old when I started experimenting with alcohol. By 15, I was drinking fairly heavily. By 16, I was a daily user, started smoking marijuana, was drinking heavily, and started experimenting with psychedelics like acid and mushrooms and things like that. But by 16, I was a daily user, usually throughout the day. That progressed into my early 20s, where I first went into my first treatment for my addiction when I was 21 years old, and had a 4-month inpatient and halfway house experience. Spent the next 4 or 5 years going in and out of recovery through a number of rehabs, halfway houses, detoxes, even a couple of psych wards when things got really intense for me. So I really struggled through my early and mid-20s. I would get periods of abstinence, at least sometimes some recovery, but kept falling on my face, and every time it progressively got worse. So that's kind of how it progressed into my early mid-20s. That rock bottom can seem like such an elusive and random place. And, you know, there's a saying in recovery where your bottom is when you decide to put the shovel down and stop digging. And one day I woke up and decided that I've had enough and I don't want to keep suffering. And there's never going to be a good time or a right time. So you know what, let's make it today. And then the next day I did the same thing. And then day after day started adding up, and I immersed and abandoned myself into recovery, going to meetings every day and getting all the help that I needed to not just maintain abstinence, but really get into a deeper recovery experience. So it's okay to need help, and it's okay to get help. And most of us can't overcome this without reaching out and getting help. And if you do, I promise you it will get better. And if you don't, I promise you it will get worse. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from years of experience watching this disease run its course and destroy lives predictably, and also watching recovery run its course and allow people to overcome their addiction and heal and experience dimensions of freedom and joy like they could not have otherwise comprehended. So if you can hear my voice, that means you're probably struggling, and I hope you reach out and there's help available.